And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. People who live in the city of Lodi have been asking questions for weeks now about what is happening to the former primary school building.
After many say their questions have been pushed off or ignored by the city, we went digging for the answers ourselves. Our Jamie Perez is here now with what she was able to find out. Jamie?
Well, we've actually had a lot of tips come in to us from people saying that $500,000 of taxpayer money was set aside to demolish the primary school building there. Well, that building was sold for $1,000 to someone, and now residents are wondering where their money went. Well, here's what we found out.
Now we're at the point of we have to get loud. We have to get some answers.
Nicole Bilzing is one of many people who live in Lodi that want answers to what is happening with this building and what happened to the $500,000 that was set aside to demolish it.
We want something that's going to bring value. We don't want a warehouse. We don't want a pawn store. We don't want just like an empty building, vacant building for years to come, waiting for a developer to put in whatever they have.
We asked the school board treasurer what the original plans were for this building.
The whole plan originally was to sell the primary school building and hopefully sell it to some developer that would do something very nice with it in the city. Found that a school building is a very difficult thing to sell, especially in a small town. So at that point, we started looking into what would it cost us if we had to tear down the building and what would that involve.
Keeping the demolition as an option, they set aside $500,000 of your taxpayer dollars to do so. But ultimately, wanting to keep the property as it stands and preserve its history, they went back to the option of selling it. The school asked for appraisal on the building, and Rick said the appraisers suggested they don't put a value on it, but instead just offer it up for sale and see what kind of offers they get. 15 people were interested, but only one went all the way through and put in an offer. They sold the building for $1,000 in March. Many have asked, why did they just sell it to this person without knowing what the official plans were? Rick said they were running out of time and needed to do something now.
That money from the referendum has to be used, and has to be used by May of 2020.
Since that building was sold for $1,000, what happened to your $500,000 that was originally set aside to tear it down?
So it's going back into the school buildings.
So now what? Well, the person who bought this building wants to rezone it. Right now, it's zoned for residential 1. The owner wants it to be rezoned for commercial multi-use space.
We're referred it to the Economic Development Committee, and we're going to try and work with them and work something out.
Lodi Mayor Jim Ness said the owner cannot do anything with this building until council can agree with him on what it's used for.
The council isn't willing to rezone.
People like Bilzing want this space to be used for something that will bring the community together. But the mayor said they had hoped for housing.
I've thought all along, you know, senior housing. We need housing in Lodi, first of all, and senior housing especially.
Since the owner nor common council can agree on what to do, this building will sit here until they can agree.
How long can this process go on for, where the idea is pitched and they reject it? How long can that continue?
I hope not too long, but it could go on for a while.
And I did get in touch with the man who bought that building. When I asked him if he would sit down with me for an interview about it, he told me he, quote, did not see the upside in speaking with us about it. But he says he still wants to turn it into a multi-use space.
Jamie, thank you.
Sure.